Pittsburgh Penguins versus Toronto Maple Leafs. The lights are bright at Scotiabank Arena tonight as the Pittsburgh Penguins, 8-3-2, 8-3-2, 5-2-1 away, visit the Toronto Maple Leafs, 6-5-1, 5-1 home in a marquee Eastern Conference showdown. Both clubs sit in striking distance of the top of their divisions. Pittsburgh tied with New Jersey atop the Metropolitan standings at 18 points. Toronto fighting through a crowded Atlantic race behind Montreal and Detroit. It's an early November clash that feels heavier than the calendar suggests. Momentum, confidence, and divisional pride are all on the line. The Penguins have surged behind balanced scoring and structure. They're netting 3.54 goals per game while allowing just 2.62, a testament to their renewed defensive stability. The Maple Leafs play a flashier, freer brand, 3.58 goals per game, but their 3.67 goals against average shows the defensive gaps that have haunted them. Pittsburgh's special teams lean slightly stronger, 32.3% on the power play, 82.9% on the penalty kill. Toronto trails at 12.5% with the man advantage and 83.3% shorthanded. Those numbers hint at the story beneath the surface. The Penguins are thriving on efficiency and discipline, while the Leafs live by pace and pressure. Up front, the stars are shining. Evgeny Malkin continues to lead Pittsburgh with 18 points, 3 goals, 15 assists, orchestrating every offensive surge with his trademark poise. Sidney Crosby remains lethal, tallying 9 goals and 4 assists, a model of precision and leadership. On the other side, John Tavares powers Toronto's attack with 16 points and 6 goals, while William Nylander adds creativity and control with 12 assists. This isn't just a battle of skill, it's a chess match of veterans who've seen it all. Defensively, the Penguins hold the edge in structure. Their blue line, despite missing Caleb Jones and Tanner Howe, has held opponents to 26.6 shots per game. Toronto's back end, shorthanded without Chris Tanev and Joseph Woll, has allowed nearly 30 shots nightly. The Leafs' reliance on outscoring opponents rather than stifling them could be risky against a Penguin squad that punishes mistakes. In goal, the spotlight burns brightest. Tristan Jarry, 5-2-1, 2.35 GAA, 923 save percentage, has been steady and sharp, a goaltender in full control of his crease. He's reading plays cleanly and giving his team confidence with every glove save. Across the ice, Anthony Stolarz, 4-4-1, 3.13 GAA, .893 S%, has shown flashes but remains inconsistent. With Joseph Woll still on injured reserve, Stolarz carries the load once again. If this game tightens late, the Penguins' edge in net could prove decisive. The form book adds intrigue. Pittsburgh's last 5 tell a tale of grit. Wins over Minnesota, 4-1, and St. Louis, 6-3, mixed with a pair of shootout losses and a stumble in Winnipeg. They're grinding out results, earning points in tight contests. Toronto, meanwhile, has taken 4 of its last 5, including a 5-2 victory in Philadelphia and back-to-back wins over Buffalo. Their offense is alive, but defensive lapses still creep in at critical moments. The Leafs are scoring in bunches, the Penguins are structuring their way through. It's rhythm versus restraint, 2 paths to the same goal. Expect the pace to spike early. Toronto will press with speed through the neutral zone, trying to stretch Pittsburgh's defense and create mismatches off the rush. The Penguins will counter with deliberate puck movement and patient entries, aiming to wear down the Leafs' defenders over sustained zone time. Special teams may decide this one: Pittsburgh's elite power play versus Toronto's middle-of-the-pack penalty kill. If the Penguins draw penalties, they can control the flow. If the Leafs stay disciplined, their transition game could swing momentum. The X factors? Malkin's playmaking on the half wall, Crosby's command on face-offs, and Tavares' net front presence all loom large. Watch for a timely spark from Nylander. if he's cleared to return from day-to-day status, whose passing can dismantle defensive setups in seconds. When the final horn sounds, execution and goaltending should separate these evenly matched contenders. The Penguins' tighter defensive structure, steadier net-minding, and superior power play provide the margins that matter. Pittsburgh's ability to stay organized in transition and capitalize on second-chance opportunities should give them the edge when the game tightens late. Toronto's offensive bursts will keep the pressure on, but the Penguins' discipline in puck management and penalty killing may hold firm. Prediction: Penguins 4, Maple Leafs 3, Pittsburgh wins a tense, high-tempo battle where Malkin's composure and Jerry's poise prove just enough to silence the crowd in Toronto. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Penguins winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Edmonton Oilers versus St. Louis Blues. It's a cross-conference clash in St. Louis as the Edmonton Oilers, sitting at 6-4-3 and tied for second in the Pacific Division, roll into the Enterprise Center to face the struggling St. Louis Blues, who sit near the bottom of the Central at 3-7-2. The Oilers are chasing Vegas for early control of the Pacific, while the Blues are fighting just to stabilize after a rough October. This one's about momentum. Edmonton wants to stack wins and keep pace in a loaded division, while St. Louis is desperate to stop a 4-game slide and prove they can still grind out results on home ice. Edmonton enters as one of the league's most dynamic teams offensively, led by the inevitable Connor McDavid. The captain has already piled up 17 points on 3 goals and 14 assists, orchestrating the attack with the precision of a surgeon. Leon Draisaitl is his usual lethal self, lighting the lamp 9 times and generating 38 shots in 13 games. Together, they drive a power play clicking at 33.3%, one of the best conversion rates in the NHL. The Blues, on the other hand, have struggled to find consistency. Jordan Kyrou leads them with 8 points, while Jake Neighbors tops the goal chart with 6, but the secondary scoring has gone cold. Robert Thomas remains their playmaker with 5 assists, though his status is listed day to day. Without his steady presence down the middle, the Blues' structure could wobble again against Edmonton's speed. Defensively, the contrast is sharp. The Oilers allow just 3.08 goals per game, not elite, but steady enough when backed by Stuart Skinner's .900 save percentage and 2.52 GAA. He's been reliable, if not spectacular, and will likely get the nod again over Calvin Pickard. Across the ice, St. Louis has been bleeding goals. Their 4.17 GAA is among the highest in the league, and both Jordan Binnington .860 save percentage and Joel Hofer .829 save percentage have had rocky starts. The penalty kill has been another sore spot, sitting at 69.7% efficiency, a dangerous flaw against an Oilers power play that can tear you apart in seconds. Edmonton's penalty kill, meanwhile, stands firm at 80.6%. Giving them an edge in both special teams departments. Momentum clearly favors the visitors. Edmonton's last 5 games show fight and fire. A thrilling 3-2 overtime win over Chicago capped a stretch of 3 one-goal games, with only 1 lopsided loss in that run. They've been in every contest, their offense generating over 29 shots a night. St. Louis, however, has dropped all 5 of their most recent outings, conceding at least 3 goals in each. Their 6-3 and 6-4 defeats to Pittsburgh and Detroit exposed defensive breakdowns that simply can't happen against a lineup featuring McDavid and Draisaitl. The Blues' inability to close games, even at home, is becoming a pattern, and that makes this matchup even more treacherous. Between the pipes, the goaltending duel could dictate the pace early. Skinner brings calm positioning and solid rebound control, not flashy, but effective behind a team that often dominates puck possession. Binnington, by contrast, is an emotional, reaction-based goalie who thrives on rhythm and confidence, both of which have been in short supply lately. If he can weather Edmonton's early surge, the Blues might find some footing. But if McDavid or Draisaitl break through on the power play, this could unravel fast. The numbers don't lie. Edmonton's man advantage efficiency nearly doubles St. Louis's, and the Oilers draw fewer penalties overall, a dangerous efficiency gap. Tactically, Edmonton's edge lies in tempo and transition. Their neutral zone puck movement forces opponents to chase, not dictate. The Blues need to slow the game down, win board battles, and grind in the corners to neutralize the Oilers' top line. They'll rely on physicality. Milan Lucic's absence removes some of that bite. But with Zach Dean and Neighbors out, the depth takes another hit. Edmonton, even missing Zach Hyman and Matthias Janmark, has enough firepower to overwhelm in waves. Expect the Oilers' top six to test the St. Louis blue line early and often, exploiting gaps on cross-ice rushes. The X factor could be Leon Draisaitl's ability to control the half wall on the power play. His precision passing could stretch the Blues' penalty killers beyond their breaking point. Prediction time. St. Louis has home ice, but not the momentum. The Oilers have the hotter stars, sharper special teams, and steadier goaltending. Unless Binnington steals the show, Edmonton's speed and structure should carry them through. Final call. Oilers 4, Blues 2. Edmonton's puck movement and power play precision prove too much, as McDavid and Draisaitl continue to drive one of the NHL's most potent offenses, while the Blues' defensive struggles persist under the bright lights in St. Louis. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Oilers winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Vancouver Canucks versus Nashville Predators. Two teams standing at a crossroads clash under the bright lights of Bridgestone Arena on Monday night. The Vancouver Canucks, 6-7-0 overall and 4-4-0 on the road, roll into Nashville looking to stabilize their early season rhythm. The Predators, sitting at 5-6 and 2-4-3-1 at home, are searching for a spark of consistency in the competitive Central Division. Vancouver currently trails the Pacific's top tier by 3 points, while Nashville is fighting to stay above the middle of the pack. Game 2 of their season series looms large, a chance for the Canucks to even the score after dropping a tight 2-1 contest to these same Predators earlier this fall. Both squads know the stakes. Vancouver's striving to tighten its defensive structure and build momentum after a rocky stretch, while Nashville aims to defend its home ice and climb closer to .500. It's a Western Conference matchup built on pride, patience, and points that matter down the road. When you line up the numbers, it's a tight tale of strengths and flaws. Vancouver averages 2.54 goals per game, but gives up 3.15, while Nashville sits just a hair behind at 2.46 goals per game and 3.31 allowed. The Canucks generate slightly fewer shots, but rely on sharp puck movement to create high-danger chances. Their power play, clicking at 16.7%, faces a major test against Nashville's excellent 88.4% penalty kill, one of the strongest units in the league. That's the core dynamic tonight. Can Vancouver's man advantage finally crack a defense that rarely bends? Up front, Connor Garland leads the Canucks with 11 points and a team-best 8 assists, though his absence due to injury leaves a noticeable hole in the lineup. On the back end, Quinn Hughes' day-to-day status means Vancouver could be missing its top 2 playmakers. Meanwhile, Nashville counters with Ryan O'Reilly, who's been steady at 9 points, 5 goals, 4 assists, and Philip Forsberg, who leads with 9 goals and 37 shots, the kind of sniper who changes games with one shift. Eric Haula's playmaking, 5 assists plus 2, adds secondary punch for a Predators squad that thrives on balanced scoring and blue-collar effort. Defensively, Nashville looks a touch more disciplined. They've allowed fewer shots per game, 29.5 to Vancouver's 30.1, and carry a strong physical edge. Vancouver, though, blocks well and plays an aggressive transition style when healthy. Injuries to Derek Forbort and Victor Mancini have thinned the Canucks' blue line depth, forcing younger defenders into big minutes. And then there's the duel in net, the heartbeat of this matchup. Thatcher Demko is expected to start for Vancouver, bringing a 4-4-0 record, a sharp 2.41 goals against average, and a .917 save percentage. When he's locked in, he gives the Canucks a chance in any building. Across the ice, Juuse Saros continues to be Nashville's rock with a 5-4-2 record and a 2.79 GAA. His .905 save percentage doesn't tell the full story. He's faced high shot volumes and stood tall in clutch moments. This goaltender battle could swing the entire tone of the night. Demko's composure versus Saros's resilience, both capable of stealing the spotlight. Recent form tells two different stories. Vancouver's last five include a 5-2 loss to Minnesota and a 2-0 shutout defeat to the Rangers, mixed with shootout and overtime wins over St. Louis and Edmonton. The pattern? Inconsistency. They've been alternating between flashes of brilliance and defensive lapses. Nashville, on the other hand, has won 3 of its last 5, including a decisive 4-2 victory over Calgary. Their 5-2 loss to Tampa Bay exposed defensive gaps, but their bounce-back win showed toughness. The Predators are skating with renewed energy, while Vancouver is still searching for its rhythm. Tactically, this one comes down to tempo and special teams. Vancouver will look to use its speed on the rush and capitalize on loose pucks, but Nashville's structure, particularly in the neutral zone, is built to slow that down. Nashville's penalty kill has the advantage, but if Vancouver's top 6 can draw penalties and sustain zone time, momentum could flip. O'Reilly should control faceoffs and possession, while Forsberg's one-timer looms as the difference maker. For the Canucks, depth scoring is key. With Garland out, JT Miller and Brock Boeser must spark the attack early. Ultimately, this one comes down to execution, not talent. Nashville holds the edge in goaltending and home comfort, but Vancouver's urgency could tilt the balance. Expect a low-scoring defensive battle where one mistake decides it. Prediction: Predators 3, Canucks 2. Nashville's penalty kill and Saros's composure tip the balance, while Forsberg's scoring touch delivers the difference in a hard-fought playoff-style battle. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Predators winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Chicago Blackhawks versus Seattle Kraken. It's a late-night clash in the Pacific Northwest, and both teams are staring down a defining moment in their early season journey. The Chicago Blackhawks, 5-4 and 3-5, 2-2-2 on the road, head into Seattle to face the Kraken, 5-2-4, 5-2-4, 3-0-2 at home, in a cross-conference battle that feels bigger than the standings suggest. Chicago sits 5th in the Central Division with 13 points, while Seattle holds 4th in the Pacific with 14. The margins are razor-thin, and the tone of the next month could hinge on who claims control tonight at Climate Pledge Arena. For the Blackhawks, it's about proving their rebuild has bite. For the Kraken, it's about protecting home ice and validating a steady, grinding identity. Chicago enters with offensive confidence, averaging 3.17 goals per game, the product of their sensational rookie centerpiece, Connor Bedard. The 20-year-old phenom leads the team with 15 points, 6 goals, 9 assists, through 12 games, dictating tempo and driving production on every shift. Jaden Schwartz mirrors him on the Seattle side, pacing the Kraken with 10 points, 4 goals, 6 assists. A steady, veteran heartbeat in a system built on balance. Bedard has been Chicago's spark plug, generating over 2 points per power play opportunity, while Schwartz's veteran timing and forecheck control have steadied Seattle through tight contests. Defensively, both squads bring grit but different identities. Chicago leans on discipline and shot blocking, though they've missed the steadying presence of Shea Weber, who remains on long-term injured reserve. Seattle, meanwhile, continues to battle depth issues on the blue line. Riker Evans is on IR until mid-November, and Max McCormick remains out indefinitely. Still, the Kraken's structure and their 2.73 goals against average show a team that buys into its defensive rotations. Chicago allows 2.83 per game, but when they get rhythm in their neutral zone recoveries, they can tilt the ice fast. In net, it's the kind of duel that defines close games. Spencer Knight has emerged as Chicago's top option, posting a 2.63 goals against average with a crisp .913 save percentage through 4 starts. He's poised and compact, tracking shots cleanly even under pressure. On the other side, Joey Daccord has been Seattle's most reliable stopper so far. 3 wins, a 2.70 GAA, and a .904 save percentage. Daccord's athleticism and rebound control have been key, especially in overtime-heavy matchups. Both clubs have lived in extra time lately, and goaltending composure could very well decide this one. Momentum tells a layered story. The Blackhawks have dropped 3 of their last 5, including a hard-fought 3-2 overtime loss to Edmonton and a 6-3 setback to Winnipeg. But they also flashed their ceiling with a 7-3 thrashing of Ottawa, proof of what happens when their offense clicks. The Kraken have followed a similar script, 3 straight overtime games all ending 3-2, and an earlier 4-1 stumble against Washington that still stings. They've been consistent but haven't buried chances, relying heavily on their structure to stay afloat. So what defines this matchup? It's speed and precision versus structure and patience. Chicago's attack thrives in transition, turning turnovers into scoring bursts. Seattle prefers to slow it down, win battles along the boards, and wear opponents out. The Kraken's special teams could be the quiet edge. Their penalty kill has looked sharp lately, while Chicago's power play efficiency still fluctuates. If Bedard and his top line can break through early, they could tilt the game's rhythm. But if Seattle's forecheck locks in and Daccord settles, it becomes a grinder's game favoring the home side, one built on puck control, patience, and forcing Chicago into low-percentage chances late. Look for the X factors: Bedard's vision against Seattle's defensive layering, Schwartz's net front positioning against Chicago's young defenders, and the fatigue factor from Chicago's recent road push. The key moment may come late. Both teams have seen multiple games go past regulation, and third-period stamina will tell the story. Special teams could tip the balance, with Seattle's structured penalty kill facing Bedard's creativity on the man advantage. If the Kraken can slow Chicago's rush game and win puck battles along the boards, they'll dictate pace. But if Bedard finds space in transition, one flash of brilliance could decide it. Prediction: Kraken 3, Blackhawks 2, OT. Seattle's depth, home ice confidence, and steady goaltending edge out a resilient Chicago group. The Blackhawks' youth movement continues to impress, but tonight the Kraken's balance and late-game execution hold serve in a thriller at Climate Pledge Arena. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Kraken winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box.